What's up, YouTube? Tank House here. I know this is a little different than a video I normally make, but this is actually for the Sparkfun Autonomous Vehicle Challenge, and I received an email from them saying I needed to make a video kind of overviewing my car that I'm going to be using for the competition. So this is that video basically. So I'm entering as Team Endlesstankzone, and my vehicle name is the Endless, or just Endless. And I'm in the Peloton class, or Peloton. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, but you'll see it if you know what the competition is. But this is my very early version of a /2-wheel drive vehicle with a custom painted body and some Proline tires and wheels. And on the outside, it looks just like a normal Slash, and that's what I was going for. I wanted a car that I can take out to the track and have some fun with, and also a car that I can use as a rover for the competition. So I designed all the stuff to be easily taken off, and leaving it to be a normal RC car, just used for fun and stuff like that. So before I dig under the body and everything like that, I want to show you what I have going on out front. So basically, as you can see, I got a custom painted body. It was my first body, so it's not perfect, but from about 5 to 10 feet away, it looks pretty good. But I'm going to try and do the competition with the body on, just because I've noticed last year when I did the competition, a couple people would run up next to me, and the body really saved the car because the other cars just went right over it instead of knocking it off the course. So I'm going to try and do it with the body on, but if I have interference or anything like that, I designed it so I can take the body off and run it without the body on. Also, on the back there, as you can see, sorry if I keep looking over at my phone, I want to make sure everything is in shot, but right there is my kill switch and start switch. Once again, I'm going for kind of the stealth look to it. Want it to be an RC car, but also the rover. I also did this back here because it's well protected. If someone were to run in the back bumper, they're most likely not going to turn off the switch and disable my vehicle. So that's the main reason why it's there. Also for a little bit of looks too. On the front there, I got some Velcro strips. I might put my little mascot. Sadly, if you remember the squirrel from last year, he was lost at the competition somewhere, probably on an employee at Sparkfun's desk, I'm assuming. But, yeah, I don't have my squirrel anymore, but I do have a awesome looking bow tie wearing frog that I might stick on the front end of it. Yeah, so that's basically the outside of it. Let me take off the body and go into some details about the actual electronics that I'm using to achieve the waypoints. So it's just 4 body pins that hold on the body, just like a normal Slash. And then, as you can see, that's the switch right there, and then leading into the Arduino. So anytime I take off the body, it's just one plug, take it right out, it's ready to go. So now that we're underneath there, you can see a lot more about what's going on. So this year I really wanted to focus on the steering side of it. So I got a much better steering servo. It provides a lot more torque and speed. So it should help me with the turns and just overall better performance from the Arduino. Also, I upgraded the steering knuckles. This might be a little tough to see there, but that's the red aluminum right there, and it's just a ball bearing instead of a bushing like they had by the stock, so you'll get a little bit better turning speeds and various other things like that, but it basically just helps with the accuracy in the turns, and that's what I really wanted to focus on. If we move a little further back, I know it's a little tough to see because it's under the main device there, but I got a 4,500 milliamp hour 2-cell LiPo battery pack. And then I also have a backup one that I'm going to be bringing with me, just in case. You never really know if you need more or anything like that, so I'm bringing that with me. And once again, you can use it just like a stock Slash. It is a little trickier than before to get the batteries in and out, but it is still possible. And I believe I can get it in time for the pit zone and everything like that in between each round. And then on the right side of the chassis, or the left if you're looking from the back, you have the speed controller, which is just basically the Traxxas general brushless system, which is a Valenian 3X system right here. And it supports up to 3-cell battery packs, but for this competition I don't really need it, and I'm just going to stick to my 2-cell packs because you get a little better battery life out of it and everything like that. And then this is just a stock gearing and the stock brushless motor for the transmission in the back there. So that's basically the electronics on the RC part of things. Now I'm going to kind of dig into the kind of ArduPilot waypoint system that I have going on here. So inside this waterproof box holds the magical ArduPilot and the GPS, and also the wireless receiver and transmitter, which looks just like this. It just has some different wires coming out of it. But I'll go ahead and open that. As you can see, I did design this to come off fairly quickly. There's only 4 zip ties holding it on there, 2 in the back and 2 in the front, and then the bungees just to keep it safe and on there, nice and secure. And then in the back there, as you can see, you might not be able to see that, but there's a small gap that I drilled in the bottom of the casing to allow some wire extenders to come through, and that's how I'm plugging in my motor, servo, and the switch into the ArduPilot, even though it's in the waterproof box. Now you might be asking yourself, why would you take the time and effort to put it into a waterproof box? Well, last year it almost started to rain right on my competition. And that got me thinking, if I was to compete, I probably would have gotten first place because I'm one of the only ones that has a waterproof vehicle that can go in the rain. 2, if I did do it, all my electronics that I purchased specifically for the waypoints, including the GPS, the transmitter, and the ArduPilot, would get destroyed, which would be $300 down the drain. So what I did is I found a OtterBox case actually designed for a Galaxy S5 cell phone, Android-powered cell phone, and it managed to fit everything that you need inside the waterproof box. And once again, I just drilled that hole in the bottom, filled it with some epoxy, and then stuck my wire extenders through there. So it gives me a water-resistant, I wouldn't say waterproof, I don't want to take this into a lake, but definitely I could probably drive it in the rain, no problem, especially with the body helping to protect it. And then I'm also going a slightly different route than most people do. To minimize things that could possibly go wrong, I am using a USB power battery pack instead of the power from the RC car. And I'm doing this mostly just to limit factors that can go wrong. I have one 500 milliamp hour battery pack, which is on the car right now, which is located right here on the right hand side of the chassis if you're looking from the back, and left if you're in the front. And then I have a 10,000 milliamp hour pack that I'm going to be bringing along as a backup, just in case I need to charge this one or use this one either way, just to give me some more battery life. And I've noticed with the 500, I get a good 4.5 to 5 hours of continuous on time of the ArduPilot. So it should last me long enough, but you never know what's going to happen at the competition, so it's good to be always prepared. So let me just grab my scissors here. Wasn't really thinking, but I'll cut off my zip ties and then take off my little bungee cords and show you how I laid out everything inside of here. So the bungee cords just attach to the actual side bumpers of the car. I took those off to allow some more mounting techniques and everything like that. And plus, it's not going to be a super competitive race where you're bumping into everyone, and that's really the point of them, so I don't need them for this race. But let's go ahead and open the box, and first thing you're going to notice is the radio transmitter up here, and also the watertight beadlock rim, which goes around the entire box, and that's just going to keep the water out, like I said earlier, and make sure all this hardware stays nice and safe. So I know it's a little jumbled in here, but let me turn it around and hopefully try and point out everything that's going on here. So right at the top, to minimize any sort of interference with anything, it's furthest away from both the motor and the speed controller, being nice and up high, and also it's on a pretty loose mount, so if it's going to hit a bump or possibly go off the ramp, it shouldn't damage it or jar it too much. And then just below this little flap here you're going to see the ArduPilot main board. Currently, this board that I have now, it must have got fried or something like that during storage, so it's not working properly right now. I can do manual mode, but the minute I go into auto, the gyroscopes and the accelerometers all go crazy and put out crazy numbers, and the car just does not perform properly. So I overnighted a new board direct from 3D Robotics. It should be here before the competition starts, so that's what I'm going to be doing. But right now, it is not fully functioning, but it does function somewhat in manual mode. And basically, I just got my inputs on the right and my outputs on the left. Might be vice versa, but yeah, sorry. Inputs are on the left here with the orange wires, and then the outputs are on the right. And the outputs are going straight to the extenders, which have the switch right here, my motor, and my steering servo located right on the side of the chassis there. And then I have my my receiver right here, which is actually a airplane or helicopter, quadcopter, basically aerial vehicle receiver by Spectrum, and that's able to communicate with my DX7 here. And basically I just have this set up to either put it into manual mode if the car is running away from me or going towards someone. I can manually stop it and hit the brakes with my right knob here. But basically I just set up steering on the right, on the left and right, on the right knob, sorry, left knob. If you go right, the steering will go right, left, left. And then on the other right, other knob, if you go forward and backwards, it's pretty self-explanatory here. And then I have the gear switch right here. Ideally, I would like to have my 3-position switch, but I was having some issues with that. So right now, it's set up to be using my gear switch, and that's just going to go to manual and auto. Seems like someone's coming. Okay. Just some people walking their dogs. Also, just in case this fails, I will be bringing up a simple 2-channel transmitter, receiver, and that'll allow me to just mostly do the switch, which is, in my mind, the most important part to put it into manual, because it's set up to, once it goes into manual, hit the brakes, just in case something goes wrong. But yeah, so I will be bringing up my backup receiver, and also the controller. And yeah, that's pretty much the overall gist of the vehicle here. I am aware that we're not allowed to use the transmitter and receiver bundle, these guys, while we're at the competition, mostly because they're just having open communication, so I can connect to someone else's vehicle, which would be really bad. So I plan on bringing my laptop along with me, plugging it straight in to upload any coordinates or change any settings, something like that. That's how I'm going to be doing it, not through the wireless transmitter. I learned that the hard way last year at the competition. But as you can see, I can just close the waterproof box, has a clasp, it's nice and sealed. And then, if you haven't noticed yet, but I am using some recycled Vex parts to support the main waterproof box with everything in it. And that is really my 2015 entry to the Sparkfun Autonomous Vehicle Challenge. If you remember my car from last year, I was using cardboard and double-sided tape and Velcro. This year, I feel a lot more comfortable with my electronics. They're a lot safer, and I also feel like I've learned significant more about the setup of the vehicle. Later in this video, I will be showing you my waypoint map that I've created. I believe it has around 100-150 waypoints, which may be too much. I'm planning on editing it once I get to the course. So I just set up basically a somewhat rough grid around the parking lot, but I'd like to better improve it once I get there, because I can't really do too much from a remote location at my house or at a park. So later in the video, you'll see exactly what I have set up for that. But anyways, to put it back together, you just put the bungee cords back on, do 2 zip ties to the back here, and that should keep it nice and safe and secure. And then once again, if anything goes wrong, I can just use that kill switch. And then if I do decide to change it to where I don't drive it with the body on for the competition, I have my secondary mount for the switch is right here, right in the center of the chassis, nice and safe and secured, so once again, no one else can hit my car and turn off the switch. So yeah, that is really my overview. One last thing, I will be bringing along a normal racing transmitter, just in case I'm having some serious issues with my DX7, I'd like to have a good backup that I know will work fine, because I've been using this controller for about 6 years now without any issues. Also, along with the things I'm bringing various tools to fix any either hardware or software or anything like that, and a couple wires, because you never know, micro USB cords can go bad suddenly without you realizing. So bringing those along, I'll be bringing my soldering iron, everything like that, just to be super prepared in case anything goes wrong during the competition. I may also bring this giant 1/5 scale buggy, mostly just to test if the track is big enough to make the turns on, because it has quite a wide turning radius on there. But maybe next year at the competition I'll be entering the big guy in the doping class, I believe, which is the very large one with vehicles weighing over 30 pounds. And this one just comes over at 35 pounds without any other electronics. So it would be a good entry into the class. But that's about it for the overview of the car. I'm going to run upstairs and hop on my computer and launch Frap so I can show you what's going on with the software and everything like that.
Okay, so I'm going to load up Mission Planner here on my computer now, and I'll be able to show you my waypoint map that I have set up. So currently I'm not going to be connected to it. I don't want to adjust any setting accidentally or something like that. But I'm going to head over to the flight plan and let's load my waypoint file. So I do plan, like I said earlier, on adjusting my waypoints when I get there. But I'd like to go there prepared and ready to have a map ready to go so I can start testing right from the start. So let me load it up here. And I just made this based off the photo on the website. So this is going to be where the barrels are. The hoop is up here. The ramp is down here. And I believe the shortcut goes through this section or this section right here. I may have an alternate map by the time the event is actually going on to try that shortcut, but as of right now I only have this map made, and I believe each waypoint is 1 meter in diameter, but I may have to adjust that depending on the just how much signal I get and everything like that, but we will see. But yeah, as you can see, I'm going to try and negotiate the barrels simply using the GPS. I don't have any other sensors on there to help it out. It's just going to be the GPS. So I may have to just do similar to what I did last year, where it just goes straight through in a straight route. But I'm going to see how the curving between them does before I fix that into a straight line. And also, I'm assuming it's going to go through the hoop in this section here, but we'll have to see and adjust it possibly if it's missing it on average. So, and then over here is the ramp somewhere along this row. I'm going to also try and go for the ramp. So the only obstacle I may not go for is the barrels, but I definitely would like to try and go for the ramp and the hoop. And I may also try the shortcut for one of the 3 runs. But that's about it. I'm going to be starting out at about 2 meters per second with the vehicle, just to see how it performs, and I will slowly try and ramp up the speed to try and get better times throughout the day, but we'll see. I know last year I think I got close to 10 meters per second, and I placed pretty well, so I'm hoping I can get back up there where around 10 to 12 meters per second, and I think I would be pretty good. But as of now, it's going to be starting out at 2 meters per second. With this waypoint map, I want to see if I'm hitting anything or anything like that, and then I will start adjusting it as it's needed to be. But I hope this video has all the information needed requested by the email I received from the Sparkfun website. And if you have any more questions, whether it's from Sparkfun or anyone watching this video, please leave a comment below. Or Sparkfun, you can send me an email with the one that I entered into the contest. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button below, and have a good day.